Hello and welcome to iBuzz. I'm your host, Nosheen Bukhari, bringing you some exciting news from the entertainment world, followed by a discussion on drummers and their role in music industry. First things first, let me quickly take you to the top stories. Yoo Jung-jeon becomes first Korean to win acting Oscar. Josh Hartnett to headline Sky's adaptation of Robert Harris' financial thriller, The Fear Index. Indian celebrities thank Pakistan for love and support as COVID ravages the nation. Oscars 2021 sluggish ceremony leaves critics cold. Saturday Night Live has invited Elon Musk to host the May 8th show. The decision has been criticized by the cast itself. Coming to our top story of the day, SNL announced on Twitter that the business mogul Elon Musk will host the late night show on May 8th. Musk hasn't appeared on Saturday Night Live yet, but he's already getting panned by some of its cast members and critics. To discuss this further, we have Sukaina Benzakour with us, who happens to be an entertainment journalist and a TV host. Welcome to the show, Sukaina.
Hi, good morning to you. Thank you so much for having me.
And then we have Jemma McCarthy, who happens to be a TV presenter and a producer. Jemma, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Jemma, my first question is from you, that why do we see this sort of behavior? Like we see double standards. At one point we see Sharon Osbourne being completely canceled from a show upon remarks that are not even, clearly racist. And on the other hand, controversial people like Elon Musk are being, hired by SNL. Do you think that these are double standards, adopted by the producers?
I mean, that's a good question. I think the producer's main goal is for the program to stay relevant, right? So it's got how many 46 series gone through already? So they're always trying to stay relevant. So I think they do drop any kind of, it seems they're dropping moral standards really by getting on people like Elon Musk that are so recently in the media for the wrong reasons. I don't know why they do it other than to keep relevant. That seems like the main agenda for them.
Right. And Jemma, Sukaina, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, I agree with Jemma. I mean, let's be real here. SNL ratings haven't been great over the years. So let's bring someone like Elon Musk, who is quite a controversial figure. Let's bring him on the show and let's raise the ratings. I think that's what they were thinking. That was the agenda. I think Elon Musk he's not shy when it comes to being on TV. He's made many notable media appearances over time. He's also quite funny on Twitter. So it's all about the ratings.
Right. But don't you think that the public opinion also matters, despite the fact that SNL, has been controversial previously as well? It's not only the public opinion, but the four cast members from SNL, they have also criticized this decision of the producers. So don't you think that public opinions should be taken seriously and they should be respected in these cases?
Definitely. I do think that the public opinion should be, taken into consideration. But I think, SNL have done this before. They're very known for choosing controversial figures. They had Donald Trump on before. A lot of people were outraged about that. So I feel like, going back to what Jemma was saying, it's definitely dropping the morals. And it's definitely just sort of, they're thinking about raising those ratings, what's going to get us those views, essentially. But public, unfortunately, not being put into consideration at all. And I can see why they are so outraged, and I can see why people are expressing this, on social media. So.
Right. And Jemma, the show itself has been, responsible for igniting so many controversies in the past and turning comedy and entertainment into politics. Do you think that politics should be, kept aside when it comes to entertaining people, and celebrities from entertainment world should be focused when we talk about shows like comedy shows like SNL.
Yeah, I think people don't tune in for the political part of it. People are there for their entertainment, which we all need so much right now. So in an ideal world, the two would be separate, in my opinion. But I mean, it's adding the controversy, which everyone secretly loves. I mean, the producers, the decision makers of the show, they're getting exactly what they want, right? Everyone's talking about it. It's the controversy that everyone's just got out into the media. So I can see why they're picking these people. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I mean, I do like the tea that it does spill.
Right, right. So Elon Musk was, he had been downplaying with the risks of COVID-19, and he said that he would not get vaccine for it. This was a very insensitive statement, especially during the, hard times of pandemic. But do you think that it should be taken as a personal opinion, and he used his right of freedom of speech, or this should be taken, celebrities being responsible for their words and accountable for their words? Some actions should be taken, and Elon should be, he should not be spared. Do you think so?
It's a really tough one. I think that he does have a right to his own opinion, but he is very much aware of the massive platform that he's got. And he is so influential over so many people, so he really should be thinking more carefully about the things he's saying. I do think there should be some kind of consequences for people in his position that are leading people down the wrong paths. Not necessarily about him not getting the vaccine, that's his own decision, but by downplaying it and disagreeing with the lockdown rules, tweeting things like "Free America" out of lockdown. That's not the right image to be putting out there, and I do think things like that should be taken more seriously.
Right. And Sukaina, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do you think that he should be held responsible and actions should be taken, or he should be, taken just as a human who shared his thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. I think with controversial figures like this, we see this happen all the time. People with high followings who are very influential in the industry, in the public eye, they're constantly tweeting these outrageous things, and people are reacting to it. Yes, at the end of the day, he is entitled to, freedom of speech. He's allowed to say what he wants, but he shouldn't be offending anyone, and he shouldn't be kind of harming anyone or spreading any, bad information or anything like that. So again, Elon Musk, he's got 52 million followers on Twitter. So everybody's seeing tweets. So I think he should be held accountable for what he is saying, especially if he's spreading the wrong information. He's such a public figure. He should have a responsibility. Everybody who's in a public eye has a level of responsibility, especially on social media. And what you write on social media will come back and haunt you. And we've seen that happen before. But the problem is that he is seen as someone who is very controversial. He's very known for his witty humor on social media. Whether that's enough to maintain a 90-minute hosting gig on SNL, I don't know, but I guess we'll be tuning in.
Right. And we've also seen Elon Musk's tweet on April 2nd, where he hasn't apologized, but this can be considered, apologizing in a way, where he appreciated the frontline workers, and he also, regarded the vaccination, and he said that he's going to get vaccinated as well. But critics say that this was, you can say, a ground preparation for his entry to SNL, because after that, the announcement by the SNL team was made that he is going to host the May 8th show. Do you think such sort of apologies can work for these celebrities, despite the fact that they're held responsible for what they say? Do you think that these apologies should be accepted in order to, let them continue their career rather than canceling them forever?
Yeah, I think that this cancel culture is slightly out of control. We are just cancelling everyone and everything, it seems, these days. I think celebrities like us are human beings. They make mistakes. They say things that they don't need in the spur of the moment. We all do it. We all go on Twitter and we rage in, or we want to vent, we say something. And so I think, yeah, in a way it's kind of unfair because he has that status and he's in the public eye, that we should, scrutinize him and evilize him so much. So yeah, I think celebrities do this all the time. They make mistakes and then they put out a public apology. It's kind of just how it works. So I think, yes, I think the apology should be accepted. The bottom line is he is hosting SNL. He is a controversial figure. Everybody will be tuning in and watching. And this is what the producers wanted, and this is what they're getting. So.
Right. And Jemma, what do you think? I mean, they already put their careers in danger by, releasing such statements. So later, if they apologize, do you think that apologies should be accepted and, they're supposed to do, and they're supposed to, continue their work?
I think it's all very circumstantial. I think in the case of Elon Musk, what he said isn't too dire, and I really don't believe in the cancel culture. I hate how everyone these days, a celebrity will do one thing and then everyone will cancel them.
Right.
And there's a really big thing in the UK right now about be kind, because we've seen too many celebrities get cancelled and just pushed into dark places, and then that's obviously awful for their mental health. So we've got to remember that everyone are humans, and you can't just cancel someone out of the world. So I do believe that people should be given second chances depending on what they say and what they do. Elon Musk, if he's accepted that what he said was silly, it was wrong, and it was insensitive, I do think that we should just accept the apology and move on. If he then comes back with more statements such as this and reverts back to his old ways, then I think there should be consequences, and programs such as this shouldn't be inviting that kind of guest on.
Right. And Sukaina, what are your thoughts on platforms being controversial? Because when we see platforms like The Talk and SNL being controversial, we never see these shows getting banned. I mean, SNL has a dark history, but other shows, they never stopped working, they never stopped airing, and they're never held responsible. The platforms should also be held responsible. Do you think that it's going to make a difference? Because we just see the celebrities, passing remarks, and then they're canceled. So these platforms should, do you think that they should be held accountable as well?
I think they should be held accountable, and we've seen so many we've seen many cases where it has been quite dark, and comments have been made and they've been very offensive, and I think just how the celebrity is being scrutinized and having to put out an apology, I think we should actually be getting apologies from the platform itself as well, because I mean this case specifically, SNL have made a very reckless casting decision, in my opinion, to have someone like Elon Musk on there. And I can see why a lot of people are outraged by this. So yes, I do think that the platform should be taking responsibility. They should be coming forward and, issuing some sort of apology, some sort of public statement, just so that we kind of see that, they are taking responsibility. Because at the end of the day, the celebrities are just there to do their job. It's actually the producers, the people who create these shows, and the people who are actually engineering this. So they should be issuing the apology and acknowledging some sort of, responsibility.
Right. And Jemma, what are your thoughts on this? And again, what do you think what sort of measures should these platforms take in order to avoid these sort of uncomfortable events?
Yeah, well, it's very difficult, especially in live television, to be able to monitor what people are going to say. But any guest that is going on to shows such as SNL, they would have seen what previous guests do, the things they say, and they will probably think they can get away with a lot of things. So it doesn't appear as though SNL are putting any kind of measures or rules in place to stop things like political messages or anything that's incorrect messaging to go out there. So I think they need to have a stricter system that prevents anything that's too far out of where it should be from going on. I do think that there should be consequences for the show. I think first and foremost it is with the celebrity or the person that's made the wrong comments or done the wrong thing. But it is the responsibility of the show to pick that person and make sure they're abiding by the right rules.
Right. Do you think that Elon Musk is trying to, win his position back with this appearance on SNL, because he's already being criticized for what he said about the pandemic? He doesn't need any money, of course. He's a billionaire, and Justin Timberlake released a statement that the artists, the celebrities, are paid only $5,000 for this monologue. So do you think that Elon Musk is doing it for, clearing his position? What do you think of it, Jemma?
Yeah, I think absolutely. It's obviously not for the money, as you say. It's not for the fame either, because he's already got that. He's picked a show that is absolutely massive, one of the longest running, one of the top rated for comedies. It's got the exact audience that is right for him. He's 18 to 49 is their target audience. So he's going in there tactically to try and sort of scrape back what his image that has clearly been tainted recently.
Right.
I think it's a clever move, and if he does it properly.
Right. Okay, Jemma and Sukaina, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That was Sukaina and Jemma sharing their thoughts on Elon Musk's entrance to SNL. Now moving to the other detailed stories. Yu Zhangjian won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Minari on Sunday and made history by becoming the first Korean actor to win an Academy Award. During her acceptance speech, Yeon spoke about how she would watch the Oscars back home in South Korea, where she's long been a film star, and that it was a surreal experience to be at the ceremony. The Fear Index was set up at Sky, and Josh Hartnett will play Dr. Alex Hoffman. Other cast includes Leela Farzad, Arshar Ali, and Gregory Montel. David Caffery is directing the 4-part limited series. Filming gets underway in Hungary this month, with Left Bank Pictures producing in association with Sky Studios. Kangana Ranaut, Swarab Bhaskar, and Anushu Moore have sent messages of thanks on social media. India has found itself in deep, unfamiliar waters, and its citizens are on their knees, gasping for air at unforgiving hospital gates. In this time of great hardship, something good has emerged. Well wishes from across the border in Pakistan, from the celebrities to the people, whether from fear of a similar fate or sheer humanness, have been pouring into great reception in India. The number of people watching the Oscars dropped to an all-time low on Sunday. Just 9.85 million U.S. viewers tuned into the ceremony, a drop of 58% from the previous low of 23.6 million in 2020. Interest in the event was dealt a double blow by the lack of blockbuster contenders and audience fatigue with drab COVID-era award ceremony. And despite historic wins for Anthony Hopkins, Chloe Zhao, and Daniel Kaluuya, reviews were overwhelmingly negative. That is it from the newsroom. We will be back after a quick short break. Don't go anywhere and stay tuned. Welcome back. In this segment, we will be talking about one of the most important musicians called the drummer, a percussionist who creates music using drums. And most contemporary bands that play rock, pop, or jazz music include a drummer for purposes including timekeeping and embellishing the music timbre. However, we also see that they are not glorified the way most lead vocalists are. To discuss this further, we have a renowned drummer with us. His name is Elon Smith. Elon, welcome to the show.
Well, I'm glad to be on your show.
So, Elon, first things first, tell us about the importance of a drummer. I mean, we know how timekeeping works with all the drums that are being played, but how important do you see a drummer and the drums are in creating a music?
Well, to be honest, I think I don't put this on for a lot of other drummers, but to myself, it's very important for me to keep my time solid. Timekeeping is very important. And it's not also playing for myself. It's playing with the musicians that are in the band. So we have to synchronize that in a way that the artist or the vocalist who's singing can feel the music that we are as a band.
Right, right.
So it's very important for a drummer.
Right,
to keep
and
the time.
tell us about your journey. I mean, you've been playing drums for more than 30 years now, and you have played with all the renowned artists of Pakistan.
Yeah.
Tell us how that journey was, and who were the artists that you enjoyed playing with the most?
Well, to be honest, I don't want to make myself sound old, but it's been about 40 years now for me.
Wow.
In the music, yeah. I'm actually I used to be, working for Toyota. I was an engineer. But then I got into music because I wanted to travel the world and everything. So my first experience to get into music was joining this band called Milestones.
Right.
And in that, the vocalist was Candy Pereira, Ziad Gulzar, and Ali Tim, who is a very, very well-known name. And so that was my first journey in the Pakistani music industry.
Right.
Otherwise, before that, I was playing in the community bands, like cover bands, like at clubs and, when the good days of Karachi.
Right, right. And Ellen, tell us about the entire limelight that is sought by lead vocalists and not the drummers or the other musicians. What is the reason behind that? I mean, a drummer is, he's taken as a backbone of that music. But then again, we don't see it happening here, especially in our part of the world, where musicians are not in the limelight. It's just the lead vocalist. People who are working as musicians with most of the renowned music singers, they're not known.
Yeah.
So what are the reasons behind this? I mean, we have seen people growing with Michael Jackson as musicians and becoming institutes on their own, but it doesn't happen here in Pakistan. What are the reasons behind this?
Well, it's a simple reason is that everyone wants to be in the limelight. I'm not only going to say the singer, it's also the musicians. They intend to forget that a band, having a band is communal. I mean, everyone needs to be solid together. I mean, I did not play music to be recognized as who I am. But the sad thing here is that, again, I'm the backbone. But if that backbone is broken, there's no band.
Right.
Because there's no beat then. So, I consider myself lucky to be on that throne and keeping the time and keeping the musicians together. Yes, singers do not promote. Musicians also, I'm going to blame them too. They do not promote each other. Choti si industry hai, it's a small industry, and we don't talk about who is good. We feel bad in saying, oh, that drummer sounds great. He just played fantastic. Everyone has this, has developed this habit of not promoting other artists and musicians.
Right. And Alan, how much do you believe in improvising your music? I mean, do you think that these transitions and improvisations are important being a musician? Because this is an era of cover songs that we've been, seeing and we've been listening everywhere. So do you think that it's important to keep on improvising on your beats? And how much do you do that? How much do you practice that in your music?
First, number one is that we did not have institute to teach us. It was cover music that we still listen to today, 70s, 80s, 90s. We didn't even know the genre. We came to know that later, when computers and, cell phones came into being and YouTube. Then everyone figured, oh, there's jazz, there's rock and roll, oh, there's reggae, all these, there's funk music, there's pop music, there's electronic music now. Improvisation is important on the genre of music that you're playing.
Right.
You do not improvise on pop music. You don't improvise on rock music. They all have that signature playing series. Yes, if we're playing this new trend that is coming, fusion music, that's where we improvise in.
Right. And
I could be wrong,
Ellen,
people.
yeah, Ellen, tell us about your experience and how much do you miss making that sort of music? Because you have played with the cream of musicians in Pakistan, the best of the singers like Hadika Kiani, and then you have worked with Vital Signs, you've played with Junoon. Do you still miss making that sort of music, because we no longer see that sort of organic music being produced? So do you think that it should be recreated, and do you miss making that music?
I miss one band that way I had my creativity actually put into action was Karaman. That was my first rock experience, getting into a rock band, great musician, good friends till today.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I played with more than, maybe 20, 21 artists, and I've traveled more than 18, 19 countries playing music. So I feel very lucky like that. But yes, I mean, I do miss out on certain bands that gave respect to musicians.
Right.
Like Junaid Jamshed did, like Nazia Hassan did. And other, I mean, sadly now, again, I'm going to say, I mean, people may not like it, but I'm not, putting anyone in a bad, room. I'm just saying is that we have a little industry and we need to promote each other. The conversations is not there. No one talks about which artist needs promotion, how to promote this artist. Same trend has been going on from decades.
Right.
Same faces, same musicians, वही लोग, वही music.
Right. So you think that the artists need to promote each other in order to empower the artists and music itself, right?
Of course, yes,
right.
very
Alan,
important.
Alan, thank you very much indeed. It was really great having you on the show today.
I'm glad to be on your show. Thank you so much. I wish we could talk a lot about more. But
yeah, me too.
Peace.
But we're running out of time
stay
actually.
safe.
So yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Stay
Thank you
safe
very
all.
much. Thank you.
God bless. Bye.
That was Alan Smith on The Life of a Drummer. And that is it from today's show. We hope you liked it. Don't forget to share your feedback on the social media link mentioned down below. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care and goodbye.